Hi, my name's Chae and I'm from Queensland Museum. Today, we are going to be secret agents and explore code breaking. As we play, we will come up with lots of questions and ideas, which you can then use to make and break your own coded messages. Are you ready? Have you ever wondered how secret agents send messages to each other without their enemies finding out about their classified plans? How can we keep secret messages from prying eyes? If you wanted to send a message to someone but didn't want anyone else to be able to read it, what could you do? One way we could do this is by using a cipher. A cipher uses a system or algorithm to mix up the letters in a message or to replace the letters in a message with different letters. The sender and receiver decide on which system they will use and how the letters will be mixed up or replaced. Do you have a pencil and paper ready? We are going to encode or encrypt a message together. We will use a transposition cipher to encrypt our message. Firstly, we need to think of a short message to send. You can write down your own short message or you can follow along with me. My message will be, science is awesome. Is awesome. Next, we need to organise these letters into a grid. The grid needs to be large enough to fit all of the letters in the message. How many letters are in your message? I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16 letters in my message. I think I'll use a grid that's 5 boxes long by 4 boxes wide. What grid will you use? Let's draw our grids now. Next, we need to write these letters into the grid. We'll start at the top of the grid and work from left to right. Let's add in our letters now. Oh, I've got a couple of blank boxes. You might have some blank boxes too. What can we do to fill these spaces? I'm going to use an X to fill these spaces. You might like to use a different letter or even a symbol. Now it's time to encrypt the message. To do this, we start at the top of the grid and then we work down the columns like this. Let's encrypt our message now. Well done, you've created your first encrypted message. But what happens if we receive a message like this? I think this message has been encrypted using a transposition cipher, but I don't know how. How could we crack the code and decrypt this message? What ideas do you have? Great ideas. I also have an idea to test. Let's see if it works. Firstly, we need to count how many letters are in the message. 4, 8, 12, 16. So there are 16 letters in this message. If this message has been encrypted using a transposition cipher, then we know all of these letters need to fit into a grid. What size grid could 16 letters fit into? There are a few options. We could use a 2x8 grid, an 8x2 grid, or a 4x4 grid. The only way we can find out which grid has been used is to test them all. Let's start with the first option, a 2x8 grid. Draw the grid and then add in the letters. Make sure you start at the top of the grid and then work down the columns like this. Have we cracked the cipher? What do the letters say when we read from left to right? I don't think so. I think we should try the second option. You can do this one. How did you go? Did you crack the code and decipher the message, or did you need to try the third option? During the First World War, ciphers were used by cryptologists, people who create and break codes to keep important messages secret. These messages were sent by animals, like pigeons, by people on foot, by bicycle or vehicle, or even by radio transmission or Morse code. You can send different types of encrypted messages here in the Anzac Legacy Gallery at Queensland Museum. Modern cryptology is a mix of mathematics, computer science, and electrical engineering. Today's cryptologists work mainly in the digital world, where they encrypt data to keep it secure and private. Now that you know how to use a transposition cipher, you can encrypt your own messages. You could work with a family member or a friend to send and receive encrypted messages. All you need is a pencil and a piece of paper. Maybe you could time how long it takes you to encrypt or decrypt messages. You could also investigate different methods of encrypting messages using the grid, or you could learn how to send your messages using Morse code. Thanks for joining me today, but the fun doesn't stop here. Investigate other types of cipher or create your own cipher and share it online at #QLDmuseum.